So what's up, bro? You just finished up what? How long was that space that you were just running? An hour or how long?
Yeah, it was an hour actually. We host it every Friday, so it's kind of like the community event where like I have the chance to talk to the community and basically getting to know all these people better. Like this is kind of like the goal we had since the beginning with the vibe call. So that's what we have been doing every Friday since I started basically on Say.
Nice.
It's been a while. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's funny because something that I've been just paying attention to over the past few days, watching all these different say spaces, is like it is very much like an organized effort of like, all right, we're on this one, everybody funnel over to that one. It's like Twitch culture in terms of that person's live, then that person's live, and it just keeps on going and funneling one to the next. So everybody's supporting each other. Which I want to ask you a question because that's a good thing because there's support, but it's a double edged sword, right? Because that also creates strong echo chambers, and then you have the same voices that you hear in every space. What has that been like watching this community develop and seeing different leaders rise up? How are you kind of like mitigating the issue of having it just too much of an echo chamber?
So I think that basically it's all about providing the resources for people to grow, right? Like we have started, like I started on Say 9 months ago, actually. I started back in December of 2023. And right after I joined, all these like NFTs were launching on Say, we have experienced a huge influx of new people coming in, which is what it was amazing. Like seeing all these people getting together and just like a ton of people from like outside of our own community joining Say just because of this opportunity that was going on in the chain, right? um, the ecosystem we had in January, it is not what it is right now. I think that right now we're at the highest level we have ever been in terms of like performance internally, and in terms of like the the solid ecosystem we currently have, right? Like we're at the highest level. So I think that right now what we're doing, and like the the strategic movement we're taking towards this is just like getting new people on board and providing the right resources for them to come and build and Say, and just make sure that they're comfortable on the chain, right? Like if I give you the platform for you to come and build, and I give you the resources and you can do what you know that is good for your brand, and we provide you with the ecosystem, and we provide you with the support from a foundation, and we provide you with a community that will also support you. We're creating like the right environment for you to just build in Web3. So that's kind of like the approach we're taking. And like I think that the community and people will like come and go. It is all about cycles and like how everything it moves. Like if the market goes down, maybe some people will live just because they're here for just like a temporary opportunity. But like what we are building and the people that are on Say right now and the community itself, it is just like kind of like a big group of friends. Like
Yeah,
I just
it is.
see it that way.
It's fun,
uh
dude. It's I laugh so much in the last few days, but I just sit and listen to these guys and like I didn't know anybody, but Josie's down there in the audience. I love her. She is like one of the boys, but she's also our only girl, like the female that puts up with all our dude jokes and like so like I just got to say, it's just all the gay jokes are just they're just fun. So she has to listen to us say terrible things to each other that women shouldn't hear men tell each other. but she's part of the banter and she eggs it on and she does all that stuff too. And like that has been my experience for the last year plus, building a team called Espresso Shot and hosting a space and all of that and showing up all the time. And we actually just did the last daily show live stream this morning, just like this with video and everything. So it's kind of like a bittersweet moment. Cool because a lot of us are kind of branching off and going and doing some cool new stuff. And we'll, of course, come together like the Avengers and do cool stuff together in the future, paid stuff specifically. But as far as showing up daily, and just providing value and just taking from our schedule and just giving it away, there's a cost to that and it's unsustainable. And a lot of people have experienced that over the past, especially the past few months. You've seen a lot of spaces host and stuff. They just have to stop. They just can't keep going. And the reason is there's nothing that supports them like what Say is doing with the creator program. This creator fund, it literally allows teams to build and then sustain because they're not reliant on some new sponsor to come in and like the constant hunter gatherer issue of like it, some months are great, some months suck, and like you're getting tons of money, you have no money, tons of money, no money. The peaks and troughs are they're gnarly. So for me, what I've been seeing is these people like to get together and have fun. It is a group of friends. The banter back and forth is totally there, and it's sustainable because they don't need to just PvP each other or fight for sponsors or fight for the position of the day to do their show. Like that's kind of enough for everybody, and they all seem to be supporting each other. So I don't know. You've told me that this has changed quite a bit in the past few months. So I'm kind of curious, just from your perspective. You came in to say, give me that like little origin story, how you got here, and then how you've kind of seen things progress to the point where there is all that support and this creator fund and all that. Take it away, man.
So that's actually a really, really good question. I've been working full time in Web3 for almost 4 years now, actually. Yeah, I've been here for a while. And I started my career as a moderator. So, like, when I first heard about crypto, uh, I basically right after that I started when all the DeFi run was taking place back then. So like right after I started, I just realized that community was a thing here, and I basically what I've been doing since then, it was just like joining to like every community I see, because like, and I keep doing that because like I think there's a lot to learn from a group of people that gets together and share ideas and create events. And there's like also for my current job is like I take ideas from like other communities as well, and like I changed some stuff to basically develop like the specific stuff that the community, the same community, would like to see and do and participate on. But like, it is always good to like join communities and everything. And like, in terms of say, like as I said, I joined 9 months ago, and right after I joined, basically this NFT run took place, and we have started seeing like just an enormous amount of like new projects coming in, new people, new faces joining the ecosystem like every day, and it was just crazy because like I was just like really new to the team, but we like I think that one of the main capabilities that the SEI team has is that we move fast, and like we know how to like adapt to like every situation. Like when all this started, we basically the ecosystem was just started, right? Like the chain was just like a couple months old, and we were literally just starting. And like, if you go back to like other chains and the cycle that blockchains in terms of like getting users always follow, it's kind of like the same. You go to through a DeFi phase where you get like all the ecosystem being built, and you get the just like people putting money into the blockchain and just like participating on all these different platforms and everything. And then when they made enough money, they go to like NFTs and like meme coins and all this kind of stuff, right? But we kind of like started in a different way, which it was amazing for us because we had the opportunity to build a community off of that, right? Like because of that happening back in like the beginning of the year, we had the opportunity to build part of the community we currently have, right? Like all these people that you see out there and your timeline talking about, say, most of them just started because of that opportunity, right? Of like the NFTs, and they joined to like they bought an NFT on say because of whatever, and right after that they basically understood that there was a community behind that, and they just basically keep doing things on say since then, and here we are. Right now the focus we currently have, it's just like growing. It always has been the same, but now we're just like, as I said again, like we're focusing all of our efforts into like providing the tools and resources for creators to build on this ecosystem. And that's
Totally.
part of like when creator fund comes in, right?
Yeah. That's still, I mean, it's literally the, you don't have to come in and then extract as much as you can and move on. And like that's kind of been my issue with a lot of the really quick paced metas that happen, is like I can't tell you how many friends I've seen that like they're blowing up. My friend Jen, amazing, super dope content creator. She's been doing production and video and all this stuff for years and years. So skill set's been cooked in way prior to Web3, and then we were watching her just absolutely blow up with everything with Blast, and then she shot the whole thing with Pac-Man and all that. She's out there supporting like that whole Blast ecosystem and doing educational videos, and there's all this stuff. And for a minute there's a spotlight on her, right? And then it becomes like all the social fi aspects of it and friend tech and like all these things. um and like there's this huge spotlight for a minute, but then the spotlight moves. And so it, like Jen is dope. She's not just gonna like run off and ditch everything she did, but that's actually it's like a penalty. It's like your loyalty is a penalty to you in Web3, which is so backwards. It's so wild. And like for me, what I look at it is, if it's not hurting you to stay there, then you're gonna stay there, right? But if you get penalized to stay there, then what, the space as a whole is teaching you is like, now is time to move. Like you're out of sustenance there, migrate over there, now get into shit coins, now get into this meta and then that meta. And it's like it makes everybody like fickle. It's a weird word. I never use that, but it's kind of like, oh, I'm good with this today, but maybe not tomorrow. We'll see. And I really like the fact that there's this almost like safety in staying because of something like this creator fund would say. So I'm excited to see what happens because truthfully for me, it hasn't made sense to stay anywhere specifically and build, especially with content, um, beyond like the spotlight. Because like it's just, you're like, I don't know, I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, because eventually that, the land stops bearing fruit, you stop making money, you stop, like new stuff stops happening, it gets stagnant, and then it's like you're the bag holder and everybody else moves on. And so I don't think that's gonna happen here. Like I think as long as there's the creators supporting creators, which is great, because everybody's like, even like I'm going to ask you in a second about like how the fund works and how people can vote and all that. But from my experience, I bought just a bit of say so that I could do some transactions, but enough to where when I started seeing like I could vote for people, I was hunting down my friends, finding their projects, and donating, basically like voting with my money. It's like put your money where your mouth is. Um, and that's fun in itself. It feels good. I don't know where else I've been able to do that besides like being a reply guy to a content creator friend and like constantly watching everything they do and supporting them and all that. That feels more like a cheerleader than it feels like being um like a like arm in arm, like the camaraderie of building
Yeah.
something together. So tell me about the voting because I want to break this down. I want to turn this into clips, like is clear and concise as we can get this to somebody who knows nothing about saying nothing about the creator program. Um, it's set up in a really unique, cool way where people can vote for each other, and we have a little window of time. Like, can you give me kind of like a that in a nutshell, what that creator fund looks like, and how creators are able to support each other and grow from it?
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into that, I think that you brought a pretty interesting point that I would love to add some thoughts on this,
Cool.
which is basically like, of course, right now, parallelized EVM, it's kind of like not the hottest, but it's a hot narrative. But we don't want to be that, like we don't want to be just like the hot narrative that is just like trying to chase the trend,
Yeah.
that's going on web3. And that's kind of like the cycle we previously talked about, right? Like people come and go because of just like the hot narrative of the moment. I think that here we have something much more stronger than just the hot narrative. We have the tech, of course, but like at the end of the day, no one cares about that.
Right.
Like people cares about like other people. If you can just like, we live in a very virtual world right now, and I think that it makes the difference when you find other real human beings behind a computer, right? Like when you find another person that's out there just like shit posting or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and we just want to be the ecosystem that provides people with that fun experience, with that high quality connections, and also with a place to be at and hang out and just like build your stuff and just bring to your ideas to life. um so like I think that like we're building an ecosystem here. We're not just like chasing the next trend or the next hot narrative. So yeah, that's that.
I like
um
that. It's
yeah,
true.
and
It is true, but like
yeah.
the people are having fun together too, by the way. Like that's something that, I mean, I actually I want to get into that. Damn, I want to turn my mic down a little bit. Um, I was listening to Heathen earlier. Dude's like, go. He went yesterday for like 4+ hours, right? Like, I don't know. It's just the longest live space
Yeah.
ever. But these
Yeah.
guys are razzing each other. Dude's like getting work done, taking showers, eating. Like it's this whole thing. But like, it's hilarious. I don't know. It's
uh,
fun to hang out. Just it's kind of a throwback to like the early, 2022 days.
I know. Yeah, this guy is crazy. And like I've been talking to these people on a daily basis since we started. Not with everyone, but like with most of them. And like Heaven was actually like one of the first creators I talked to back in uh, January of this year, actually. So yeah, these are all like really funny guys, and they have like a lot of energy to share with the community and everything. So that's what it creates the community and the environment we currently have.
Yeah. Well, tell me about it because I know a lot of these guys, they're all hanging out in the same space, dudes, women, people are hanging in there having these funny conversations. But then you look and it's like you've got people who have multiple different projects that they've submit applications for and that they're getting support from each other for that stuff. So you got animators, you got people that are doing shows and different stuff like that, and they're getting the support from the community. So like, what does that look like from like somebody completely brand new to it? Like, how can they get involved? And to be honest, I I'm curious what your thought is. Like, What's the easiest way for people with zero experience with Say to get in, be set up so that they can buy some Say and start supporting and get involved in the ecosystem? Like, walk me through that whole thing.
So yeah, great question. So first of all, for the Creator Fund, we're using Gitcoin as the platform to manage the fund and also the voting process. The way it works, it's basically pretty simple. The fund is a $10 million creator fund divided into different rounds with different topics. Uh, the one that took place just a couple days ago. It was the second round, actually, focused on creative media and IP development. Right now,
Right.
we're at the community phase, and the way it works is basically you apply as a creator. If you meet the criteria, you can apply. Then the team will check out your application. You can get it approved or not. If you get it approved, you'll get to the next phase, which is the community voting phase, which is the phase we're at right now. The community can basically vote for you, and depending on the amount of votes, it will depend the the matching pool, the part of the matching pool you'll get. So here we can see like a lot of projects from say crossover. I see Jellyverse in there
Yeah,
as well.
crossover. I was watching the video yesterday, and I was like, "Damn!" Even just going through some of this stuff, I thought was really cool. Just as a like for creators to get to see what this looks like, where dude went out of his way to not just have his artwork and all that stuff, but then the link tree in there, I thought was smart. So this we went through all this stuff. I'm not going to watch it all again today, but the fact that I could just on this stream play his YouTube videos, that it's cool. It's a fun thing to get to kind of like explore, because I've seen a lot of communities where like a perfect example is Azuki. Azuki's a great ecosystem filled with artists, people that are doing lots of cool stuff in the overall Web3 space, but it's not easy for non Azuki maxis to find out. And like it's really not easy for them to support outside of just like clicking around and then spreading the good word. This is literally like, here's everybody, click in if you want to see, like, especially when I was going through like why is there $141.83 from 47 contributors interested in this? And then there you go. You could start looking around and like find the website and the accounts, read what their plans are, all that stuff, and then just like click a button and send some money and support. Like, that's wild. That's really
Yeah,
really cool to see.
exactly. And it is also like using the quadratic funding is also like kind of like you're giving the power to the community
Right.
to express by votes what they want to see, basically.
Can you tell
Because
me
like,
about the voting where like people can't come through with like their big crowd and like take advantage and like arbitrage this?
of course. So basically, so we had creators applying, like individuals creators. We had like projects applying, and all these different type of people from like all over the place. And if you're an individual creator and you apply to this, you potentially have a community already built, so you can basically leverage that to say, okay, like I'm just applying to the creator fund. You can go vote for me, and you could get like the support from the community, from your community that you already build, and just like get more votes. If not, like what I would recommend is like get involved into the same community, talk to the people, just connect with other creators, get into spaces, start doing some stuff, like just like start showing the community, the people that will consume your content eventually, that you're out there, you know and that's what like most of the creators have been doing so far. And because of the supportive community we currently have. I think that creators, like new creators wanting to build something and coming on to say, uh, it was basically achieved like some good numbers in terms of like voting and everything. So yeah, I'm just really really happy to see these two pillars and the community getting together and just like connecting the community, saying, okay, I want to see this, and the creator providing them with the content. Like, it's all like getting all the thoughts together, and it's all gonna work.
Well, this is cool too. The fact that there's things like milestones, people can track the progress. Are you individually doing what you say you're gonna do? You know, if you get the money, what are you gonna put it to, and all that? And like, I think S3 is such a good example of what people coming together and working for the overall ecosystem looks like. Do you want to touch on that really quick? Because I know you've talked a little bit about S3 with me.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think that S3 is a perfect example. There's a lot of communities on say that had like have been supporting the growth of the overall community since the beginning. But like, I think that the S3 guys are just like a perfect example of success in terms of like creating a community from scratch, and because that's what they did. Like, Roy, Heathen, Dogwiz, all these people, like they started this out of nowhere, when we didn't have the ecosystem we have, when we didn't have the community we had, and they just started like hosting spaces themselves and just like spending countless hours into like spaces and just like trying to get in touch with us and just like all this stuff. And right now they're just like the biggest community on say, and they have all this calendar of events, a bunch of like creators building for them, uh, other communities coming out from a street that started on a street, but like now they're moving to like their own way, and like just like more communities getting created because of a street and the connections being built in there. So that is just amazing to see now people working full time on Web3 just because of S3 as well. Like, Roy is a perfect example for that. Like, and he did an amazing post the other day about just like how connections, like the network that you can build, can change your life. That's what S3 is doing basically, and I really like what they're doing, and I try to support as much as I can with the resources I have for them to keep growing and keep doing what they're doing, because I think that it's just amazing.
Yeah. No, it is cool just seeing it. They banter back and forth a bunch, but like individually, it just looks like everybody's building their own thing. Um, Cool thing is, I don't know where Dogwiz is at, but I know Heathen's actually local to me, and I'm like, okay, like what does this look like in LA get together of a bunch of say MFers because well, actually in this case there's a collection straight up called fuckers, so there's a bunch of say fuckers. So I think that it sounds like it's going to be like a lot of fun in the future with people really getting together and like, I don't know, doing things where they collaborate. Because if you look at the timeline again, the spotlight's always moving from one thing to the next, one event to the next. Me personally, I've got to go to a lot of these, parties and events and conventions and stuff, and it's like I kind of just see all the same people. You know what I mean? We kind of all just do the same thing. It's different city, but same stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, like I understand that it is kind of tribal in a certain way where it's like, see you at the next one, blah blah blah. Um, but I'm not directly supporting most of these people, and there's not actually a direct way for me to do it. Like I could just see them, say hi, make a video with them or something. That's what I did last night. Made a video with a couple friends, but it's like for me to actually be able to put money in their pocket directly or contribute to blowing them up and doing all that stuff, it's kind of hard to do it. So this experience for me with getting involved with say, if nothing else, as a great learning lesson of like how it is boring as it sounds, how blockchain technology can actually make an ecosystem of creators helping creators. I've seen it a lot. I saw it on Clubhouse. I saw it for years in these content creator groups online and discords and online courses and memberships and all these things. And for the most part, they all support the top of the pyramid. You know what I mean? So the guy that has the course, who has the big YouTube channel, who has the big following, brings in the memberships and all that. And it's like you're just kind of all part of one person's thing. It's
Yeah.
not about like the whole ecosystem. Like, hey, us as creators, we're all winning. We get together and do this stuff. We had Tom Bilyeu come out last night, which was amazing at IRL Alpha. Great entrepreneur, great story, super well spoken and all that. And he's going to go out to something that is happening in Texas right now called Vid Summit. It's a great thing. I really love it. Mr. Beast is one of the owners of it. Daryl Eves is the main guy that's kind of built this whole thing. And I love all of that, but it's mostly going to Daryl Eves. You know what I mean? You show up to Vid Summit, you're like, yeah, I'm learning. We're side by side. The truth of it is, you're kind of at another one of the events with the same people that you see at those events. It is cool. You do learn a lot, but you are pumping money into one dude's pocket. You just are.
Yeah.
And this is a very different version of that. It's the decentralized version of that. God, it's so lame saying these things, but like it is actually that. It is, it's a great example of what this looks like when you remove the big top dog that's filling his pockets, and good on him. He deserves it. My guy Daryl Eves, amazing. I got his book right over there. It's great. But it feels good to get to feel like I'm not just a sucker who's coming in here and pumping one person's bags. Because I don't care who benefits from all of this stuff. I don't look at this like I'm in the, I'm in the John Smith ecosystem and John's really winning because I'm working so hard building in his ecosystem. So like for that alone, it does feel like I'm actually supporting creators and getting to know new people. And I don't know. I definitely look forward to hearing from other people. I'm stoked that I got to have you though, since you're working directly like as like you told me, the bridge between like the creators and the market, and then the actual core team itself, who's building all the stuff that if we talked about it, people's brains would ooze out their ears because hearing about blockchain is so damn boring, bro. It's
It
crazy.
is. It is. No one cares about the tech.
No,
And
no.
that's something that I've learned over the years. And that is not the approach we're taking with Say. And not at all, because like we have this Bible and we don't spend like any time in there just like talking about time to finality and talking about the twin turbo consensus and talking about 390 milliseconds and talking about like all this stuff, which is great. The technology is great and it's something that got me into crypto, but like at the end of the day it's boring, like people do not care about that. People just want to just like, I don't know, just chat about what's been going on in the last, I don't know, rug or whatever. They just want to have fun. At the end of the day, that's what people want. And that's what we're building in this community, just like a place for people to have fun. And for creators, like I think that you kind of like describe it the right way. And it is lame to say that it's a decentralized way of like voting and everything. I know that, but like at the end of the day, that's what it is. And like, we want you to grow because we believe that if you grow, we grow as well, and we grow with you
Yeah.
right now. So like, but we want you to grow first, right? Like that's the community. When I say like community centric approach, like I want you to grow first on our ecosystem because we believe that if you grow, we will eventually grow. And like for you to grow, like we don't have to like when we first talk, right? Like about like what you could do to support the eco or whatever. Like I always tell to creators, like, you know better than me what to do. Like I don't know what you could do in terms of like content creation, because like I'm not the content creator here. I'm like the bridge between you and the SEI Foundation. I work for the SEI Foundation, so like, and working in the community team, that's basically my job. But like
Yep.
I don't want to tell you, okay, Chris, like you have to go and create this video with this person and go and do this and do that, like, because that's not going to be organic. And like your community will know that that's kind of like something that it's not coming from you, but it's
For
coming
sure.
from us, you know. And that's kind of like the goal with the creator fund as well. It's like giving the creators the opportunity to do what they want. Like if you don't want to create any content, that's fine. Like your application could go through because like you met the criteria, the eligibility criteria. But like if you're not gonna be creating content, the community will not vote for you. So
Right.
you'll not get any
Right.
resources, you know? So that's the most interesting part about like when the community votes for you, they're donating like just a small amount of money, but that's just to prevent like bots and everything. At the
Sure.
end of the day, it's just like bots, and there's a matching pool, and you'll get a portion of that depending on the amount of votes.
And
And
can you tell me really quick, because I want to get as much clarity as I can so I can tell
yeah,
this to other people as well. But so let's say I'm big deal TikTok influencer. I don't care about say, I don't whatever. And I come in here and I got my million TikTok followers or whatever. And I say, everybody come vote for me and I'm gonna make a ton of money and I'm gonna take that and leave. There, from what I understand, there's a mechanism in place where if everybody comes in and they literally just vote for the one person, their vote matters less than for somebody who's like voting for multiple people in the ecosystem. Can you kind of break that down so I understand it the best? Because that's that's kind of my take right now, is that like somebody can't just come through and like game the system.
yeah, exactly. So in order to prevent that kind of stuff, what Gitcoin did with the creative funding and all the technology they have in place, it's like, okay, if you come to this fund and you participate as a community, you participate as a user, voting for like all these projects, it will mean that you care about the ecosystem itself instead of like just coming in here and just putting all your eggs into the same place. You know what I mean? So like that's kind of like how it works without getting into like the how the technology works
Yeah.
for this. But like it means that you care about the ecosystem itself, and not just about one creator you want to see winning, but instead the whole ecosystem of creators.
I love that. No, it's super cool because I feel like so much of what we've seen in Web3 is, hey, there's a new social fi thing. And then
Yeah.
people come in like locusts. They bring their swarm, they devour all of the liquidity, and then they dip out, and then the thing dies. And then people are like, oh, that sucks. And then, oh, but look, there's a new one over there. And then same thing. And it keeps happening over and over. And I'm like, that's whack. Like I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah, of course. And like it is good if you see it as an opportunity to make some money. Like I totally get that and I respect that, and it's amazing. Like just take that opportunity. But like that's not what we're building here. Like
Right.
we're building an ecosystem. We're not building an opportunity to just like make some quick money and live, right?
Right.
So like that's kind of like the goal we have with the community team. It's just like building a building a community both of creators and users as well. And creators are going to be the ones providing the content, and the users will be the one consuming. So like how to connect both worlds is like what we're currently working on. And it seems that the creator fund, it's been working well, really good actually, for in terms of that. Like we had over 230 30 people applying, and we had over 2,300 people voting on the first day, which it
Wow.
was actually the amount of people we had for the whole first round we hosted.
In the
And
first day.
yeah, on the first day, that was crazy.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn, that's dope. So how many people applied on round 1 versus round 2?
I don't remember how many people applied, but like 63 projects got approved. In
Mhm.
this round, we had over 180.
Wow.
So it's like three times the first round.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ramping up. No, that's super dope. So, and we've got 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks left. People are
Yep.
out there, they're showing what they're gonna do. What's after that? Like, what does that look like? So we've got a couple weeks, people are gonna do what they do, they're gonna get votes, people are gonna, kind of rally around them. What's next?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like for the next 2 weeks, you'll be just like showing the people that will vote for you that you're here, just like creating content and just like showing your potential, your skills, what you know, like what you know how to do, and like everything to like the end user that will vote for you. And just like after that, the funds, like depending on the bonus, you'll receive the funds, and then you'll start just like developing the plan you said you'll do, and like people can control that via karma, as you showed.
Right.
So yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting to see. And just like we had probably like between 30-40% of the creators who have joined to the who have applied to the creator fund came from like outside of the ecosystem. So like
Wow.
I'm really excited to see how this is going to be, how this is going to work in the future, because like I'm just like really eager to see all these new creators joining the eco and connecting with the community we have, and like doing their own stuff, which is something just like brand new for our ecosystem. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to work. Yeah, I've been talking to like many creators now who have joined the creator fund, who have applied, they have big plans. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited for it.
That's dope. Something I've noticed as well is a couple conversations I've heard. People that already trust each other, they instantly supported. I've heard the conversation that they're gonna wait to see if a lot of these new people, like you said, almost like half of the applicants are new, right? They're from outside the circle of trust, right? And so I've heard it said, and it makes a lot of sense where they're like, it's almost like they're a little bit skeptical of like, is this person gonna do anything? At the same time, I've heard them say, yes, we're skeptical. We don't know if they're gonna do anything, but if we're not accepting of these new creators, then it's just going to be the same, the same people running around in a circle, and the thing doesn't get bigger. So what's your take on last round? How much of procrastination slash skepticism played a role into the votes coming in at the end, as opposed to at the beginning where you're just supporting your homies off the bat? What did that look like last time? How do you think it's going to go this time?
So the last round, like the first round, it was a completely different story, right? Because it was much more like, it was smaller,
Hmm.
and then most of the projects who applied to that round, uh, they were just like from the ecosystem already,
Right.
because of the like the topic was much more broader. So like the outcome that we've been expecting from the first round, it was different than the outcome we were expecting from this one. So like I think that it worked kind of like in a different way because of the people who have applied. I think that in this one, I'm actually really proud of the community, like the say native core, like the core community, the diehard people, because like I've seen them doing a really good job in terms of like welcoming new creators and getting them in the loop of like what's going on say. And that actually talks really good about these people because like it is like, okay, like you're gonna come here and you're gonna compete with me, but I want you to come and I want you to like have that healthy competition, you know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
because you're a creator as well, and these guys have been doing this for like 6 months already, and there's like all these new people coming from like this Lana community and like other communities as well, to build on say with a community already built. And like they're just like inviting them to the spaces, getting them into like the group chats, and like just like making them feel that they're at home. And that's really important because like it says, okay, like the community really wants this to grow as well, and they understand what it takes for a community to grow, right? And it takes time and it takes resources as well, but it also takes like good talent coming in.
Yeah.
And that's what we're having with the creator fund and the community. I think that like there's a bit of like skepticism going around, but like I think that most of the real ones are just like supporting the new creators coming in because like they understand that that's what it takes for this community to grow. Just like some fresh new people with like new ideas, other type of experiences and like other ecosystems as well. So like I think that they're doing an amazing job on that, and that's kind of like what I said today in the vibe call. Like people like creators who have just joined, I always like tell them to go to a street because like that's where you'll find the most people on like the say community. That's kind of like the place for the say community. You have the voice chats, you have all these spaces and everything. There's other places of course, but like S3 is kind of like the OG. And like new creators always like get back to me saying, okay, like I talked to this guy, I joined the voice chat and I talked to this one, and I started like just playing like I don't know Counter Strike with this guy just because of a street, and that is just like amazing, because like you're a creator and you're like interacting with the other creators who have applied to the fund, but they're saying to you, okay, come here, we're gonna take care of you, we're gonna help you, we're gonna just get into the loop, and we're gonna allow you to build on this ecosystem as well. So yeah, that is just like great to see from a community that is just like experiencing this new people coming in. And yeah, that is just like great to see from our community. I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. No, it is cool. I think it's gonna be a good fun time. What specifically are I kind of want to say like what do you hope happens next like beyond the creator fund, just as somebody who's been watching say kind of develop and all that stuff. I don't know, I'm just curious as far as like being attached to a core team, you're privy to certain ideas that have been gone back and forth, I'm sure. But what do you think is in the works? Do you think that like the creator fund, it's a $10 million fund, so there's lots of different phases of it. Are
Yep.
there any phases that you know about that you could talk about, or like I don't know, man, like what are you excited about, would say right now?
So, like, to be completely honest, like, and I think that I said this too much, but like, I'm excited because of the new people joining, actually. Because, like, I feel that that was very much needed for this ecosystem. Um, like, again, like, it's people with just like brand new ideas, it's people with like talent, it's people with like who's like willing to spend time in this ecosystem and build. So I'm just like, to be completely honest with you, I'm just like spending 100% of my time and like making sure these guys have like all the resources they need to do what they're planning to do. Because like
Nice.
I truly want to see more people just like doing cool stuff on say. We mentioned like crossover, we mentioned like S3, and like I can name you like a couple more Remos and like other creators. I want to see more of that, and I think that there's room for everyone here. And we're just starting. So like I'm just excited for that. And that's also like right now what I'm spending like 100% of my time. And I'm just like trying to see and understand how can I provide these people with the right resources, but also like how to make them feel comfortable, how to integrate them with like the community we already have, how to like different initiatives to make them grow even faster, how to integrate their new audiences into like our current audience as well, and all this different type of stuff. Like that's 100% what I'm spending all my time on right now.
That's dope. That's so cool. So I know this is like my last little thing I want to ask you about. I know that some of my friends are building really cool things in Web3. And I started talking about this. And the reality was just that, like, I mean, I almost missed it. I thought that I had put my application through. I didn't. And I was like, oh shit, wait, there's more stuff. And like I had to fill it out. And I actually checked in with my friend Max and I was like, did you do all the things? Cause like I'm a bozo and totally didn't notice it. She's like, yeah, I did all the things. I was like, oh, okay. Well, she's a pro, so I got that. But my other friends are more like me. And not only did they miss some of the stuff that they had to do, um, they just didn't get anything done. And so they're going to be watching right now this round and they're going to be wanting to get involved in future rounds. Now, I know we got different themes for future rounds, right? Is there anywhere that people can sign up for an email list or something that is going to keep them up to date so that when they do have the next opportunity that they've done everything that they can do to prepare for it now so that when it gets to that point they just have to like fill in the blanks on the missing information for that new phase. Is there anything like that exist?
So not an email list, but we do have the say Twitter, and you have my Twitter as well.
Right.
Like, if you follow the right people within the eco, you'll like just like see it, for sure.
I think
And
what you're
like
saying is if people support and vote for Pedro, I mean vote for Chris, then they're
exactly,
gonna
yeah,
get those
yeah,
videos and then they'll learn. Got it.
yeah. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
That's cool. Bro, I want so this was a little more formal than I almost ever do. Most of the streams that I do is just ridiculous. You know, we just goof around and talk about like I wanted to get these things because I do want to make some cut and dry answers of like, what is this? Here's the answer, and make that content. And that's what I want to do with a lot of the other builders that are here is like get with them, but have a good time, make some content, clip up these little podcast interviews, and then just let that kind of flood the market. Like that's my goal right now is to just distribute this stuff everywhere, not ask somebody to spend. We've been going for almost an hour. I don't think that I need people to watch me talk to different builders for an hour, but if they give me 30 seconds and we
Yeah.
clip that up into that one little chunk, if I deliver lots of that all over the place, like I feel like I can make an impact. So I'm going to absolutely just be going hardcore for the next couple weeks and doing everything that I can. So, any advice for people that are like in my shoes? They want to get votes. I've seen posts literally saying, "Hey, since you guys are all going to be begging for votes right now, put out this ridiculous post."
Yeah.
What advice do you give people that are in my shoes? One of the 180 plus people that are trying to generate votes, like goods and bads, and we'll end it with that.
So just like I'm gonna be really concise on this one. Connect with the right people, talk to the right people, and just like do what you know how to do. That's all. Like if you're a creator, you know what you're good at. So just do that. And you need nothing else. If you do what you're good at, you're gonna get the votes. Because that's all it takes for you to get the support from other people. Just be yourself.
Damn. That is such a banger ass way to end this, man. I appreciate that. I think that's the perfect note to end on. And for creators that are good at stuff, here's a place where you can just be good at the things that you do, and that's enough. I fucking think that I'm gonna butcher it if I keep talking. So, Austin, you're the man. I appreciate you big time. I want you to be involved in these live streams. They're
Of
really fun when
course.
we got like 8 people and everybody's bantering and being ridiculous. So that's to come. This was necessary. I appreciate you for being here and for supporting me because you've honestly been nothing but awesome, super helpful, and I think the creators here are lucky that Say has an ecosystem where there can be somebody so entrenched in the community like you are. So shout out to you, big flowers for that. Thank you, bro. This was great.
No, thank you so much for inviting me. I already told you this, but like I've been following you for a while, man. So yeah, it is amazing to be here talking to you. This was an amazing conversation. So yeah, just thank you so much for doing this and inviting me and having me here.
You got it, bro. Don't go anywhere. We're ending, but we're gonna cover stuff in the background so that we can turn this into clip content. So for the rest of the space, bye space, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.